Jai Baba. My name is Kishan Singh from Dehradun. I met Baba for the first time in 1945. Before that, it so happened that I had heard about him sometimes in 1937 when I was cutting a joke with a friend of mine on who would say that God comes through worship. I didn't believe in that story. I was in materialism. I was against Babaism or spiritual matters, but had a discussion with that man. During course of that, he said something about Baba. He was a Madrasi gentleman. He said he knew Baba. I made a fool of him, cut joke to him. Later on in life, it so happened some tragedy in my life, some happening in my life made me to think by a sudden inspiration coming into my mind that if any authority can give you relief, it is Meher Baba. So I read about him a few days earlier in paper that his headquarters are at Dehradun. I was in Rawalpindi at that time in Pakistan. I ran from there, came here, but could not find him. Rather, on inquiry, I was told first that he is here, but later on, when I was directed to the place where he was supposed to be living, I found some Punjabi gentlemen who started jeering at me and saying that you have come so far to meet Meher Baba, whom I at that time could only take as said and not as avatar of the age as I do now or as I started doing it later on. Then, not finding him here, I went back. I wrote letter to Adi. I got interested in him. He sent me some literature. Then reading those literature made me to think more and more and more about him. And then a question arose to meet him, an interview which could not be had because Baba was in seclusion. I was told that I should wait for some time long. Later on, in 1945, Adi told me that Baba is at Jubilee Hill there. So I ran from Rawalpindi to meet him there. I met him, and at a distance, Baba said, Baba was at that time in fast, and Mandali said, you cannot meet him for 7 days because he won't come to the Mandali for that period. I said, I'll stay here for 7 days, but I was not allowed to do so. Later on, what I said, if you insist on that, I will just put my luggage outside on the road and stay there for 7 days. I won't go unless and until I meet Baba, I see him before I do. Then what happened, a message was sent to Baba and he said, I can see him for 2 minutes at a distance of 200 yards. I said, I quite agree, even if it be 2,000 yards, so long as I can see Baba. So I was taken to Baba. When I saw him, all at a sudden, what happened, I had some working develop in my mind. I lay straight on the ground in spite of the instructions given to me by the Mandali fellow that I should stand erect before him and I should not lie down or I should not do anything of the sort. But what happened, when I laid down there, I saw Baba's face. It was very glorious, and at that time, that luster on his face made me to submit. When I saw that luster on Baba's face, I was so moved inwardly that I at once felt that he is the person who a divine soul on earth. Although I did not take him immediately as avatar of the age, but still inwardly I felt myself as surrendered to him, and for his work in the future. Immediately thereafter, 2 minutes were over. Baba clapped his hand and made me to get up. I stood and was asked to go to the Mandali and stay there till further instructions were received. In the meantime, instructions came that I should have my meals and go back to the place from where I have come. I submitted very gladly to those instructions, and after meal I went to the railway station, passed the time in the waiting room as the train was to leave in the evening, and I left for Rawalpindi from where I came. Well, that contact with Baba's face, so brilliant, so charming, and so beautiful that I could never forget it, and all the time I have been meditating over that face, and especially my eyes were fixed on his face at that time when I was lying prostrate on the ground, and inwardly I was thinking that I was most fortunate to be in his presence at that very moment. I reached home, and a sensation was created in my mind to have a Baba's darshan at a closer end. I tried my best, wrote several letters, but could not possibly get an opportunity to be near to him for the obvious reason that Baba was in seclusion and all interviews were stopped. Later on, an occasion came when I was called, you see, but on account of service restrictions, I could not possibly attend to it, and I regretted my inability to go. A message came from Baba that don't worry, later on you will get an opportunity to do his work, and I should be happy and forget the incidents. Later on again, once so happened that a gentleman came to me for some help. I was the administrative officer in the defense accounts at that time, and he was in trouble. His son-in-law was in trouble. He came for some help, and seeing Baba's photo on my table, he at once said, "Oh, you are Baba's lover?" I said, "Yes." "So is my brother Pritam Singh," he said. And then he said he was called in a meeting, and that meeting has been cancelled, and he is not going. What happened before that? I had asked to be present in that meeting. I was given permission, but the office would not allow me again to leave, you see, on account of certain exigencies at that time. I decided in my mind that I should run away from the office and give up my service, take it, and I should not miss that chance of being with Baba. But that message, that meeting has been cancelled, helped me, because the cancellation notice didn't come to me, and the next day I would have run away, left my service in that circumstances. I should say Baba helped me in saving me my service and made that man as a tool to come and to help me and give me the information that the meeting was cancelled and I should not venture the step which I was contemplating in my mind. Later on, I was transferred from Rawalpindi to Delhi. When I reached at Delhi, I just saw, you see, that there was no meeting, no gathering of Baba lovers there. I didn't know anybody, and I asked Adi to let me know the names of the people who are Baba lovers at that place. A letter came in which he said, Mr. Kane, Mr. Harjivan Lal, Mr. Dar, and Mr. K.K. Desai, these are Baba lovers in Delhi, I'm sorry. So what happened, I met all these gentlemen, and then we started an organization there, and a sort of center was formed, and we used to meet, talk about Baba, and so on. Later on, I was transferred from there, and I came to Dehradun. Here, one day, Baba called me to Andhra in connection with his public darshan program after he had stayed here for about 9 months in Dehradun in 1953. There he said, look here, I want to come to Dehradun and I wish you to arrange 2 houses for me. And when I came here, the houses were arranged within the time given by Baba, and then Baba came here and stayed for 9 months, as I said just now. And then after he left this place, he made me to go to Andhra again, and I was entrusted with the duty of writing diary of his movements, of the actions, or what I was seeing there, of the program, I should say, in other words. I had written that diary, and then I was to accompany Baba to different places whenever there was any public darshan program, and there I would write diaries. So in this way I have written so many diaries about Baba's, you see, darshan programs. Later on, I was entrusted with the job of taking down the proceedings of Baba's savas. We had 3-4 savas in Ahmednagar. I recorded that thing, and then one of the savas, you will find, had resulted into that, the proceeding resulted into the publishing of the Listen Humanity. There you will find the record is there that this is based on the dictation given by Baba and taken by Kishan Singh, that is myself, and one other Baba lovers. Later on, when Baba was here, it so happened that one day I felt that I can do better work by being with Baba than in service. So I told him, Baba, permit me to resign. He said, what are you going to do? What will you do with me? You are a gazetted officer. You are having a handsome pay. With me, you will be running about. What would you do? He didn't permit me. Later on, I requested him for the second time. Then for the third time, one day Baba was in mood. He ordered me, he said, he agreed to it, that I should put in my resignation and retired from service. In between, when Baba went into the new life, Baba called me to be whether I was willing to join him in that life or not. I was one of the gentlemen who said yes to join Baba in 49-90 in his new life. I was later on relieved for certain reasons because some official difficulties came into the picture. In between, I also dedicated myself, and I was to join Baba earlier, and a stipulation was laid by Baba that I should join only if all my family members were agreeable. So all agreed, excepting my son, who left the home in this idea, with this idea that his father, that is myself, was going to commit to join. Baba means to him was just to commit suicide. Or in other words, he never wanted Baba, he never liked Baba, he never loved Baba. The result was that this has later on resulted in the friction between father and the son. But Baba is Baba. It so happened when Baba was here, he had some public darshan, and in second public darshan, I'm sorry, it was arranged that a movie should be taken, and that boy was brought here, although with strained relation and with no idea at all whether he is my son or not, with all the connections severed. I met him on the road, I requested him to come, he took the movie, and later on he spoke to Baba. He told Baba, you see, permit me some more time for this movie work on some later date. Baba said, yes, I would do it. Later on, he was called to Andhra program, and he had that movie which may be lying with Adi or with somebody else, I don't know at the moment. Then later on, when I retired from service, Baba gave me certain duties which I am still doing, and one of the duties is he put me as a shopkeeper. He wanted me to start business. The business is under the name of Kishan Agencies, and that which I am still doing. Well, it so happened my daily sale on the business was about 5 rupees or 6 rupees a day on the start, and it was just starving to be living on that income. Baba said, one day asked me, how is Kishan Agencies? I said, I am fed up with your Kishan Agencies. He said, but I have given you as a duty. I said, I don't know And he asked me whether I wanted money. I said, definitely. Later on, again it so happened, one day he put the same question in another meeting to me. I gave the same reply. I said, same old reply, Baba, I'm fed up with your Kishan agencies. He said, but you are doing my work. I said, that is the thing which is still holding me there. Otherwise, I would have left it and done some other work. Later on, one day, I spoke to Iraj. I said, Iraj, Baba, you know Baba's mood. And it would be better if you could possibly help me in getting rid of these Kishan agencies. You better speak to Baba and request him to relieve me of this duty. He said, well, Baba is not a child. He is God. So he understands these things. It will be very difficult to move him because he has his moods. But still, one day I was staying with Baba and talking to him Baba was in a very good mood. And I requested Iraj, just beckoned to him, just that he should put in my request to him at that very moment. I stopped talking. I finished the talk which I was having with Baba, and all at a sudden kept quiet. Baba just put motion to me, just asked me, have you got anything else to say? I said no, because I never wanted to say that education agencies was to be closed. But Iraj intervened. Iraj said, yes, Baba, he has got to ask one thing. Well, what is that? He wants to know, what is that he wants to ask? Iraj said, he wants to know whether he should close. Immediately, Baba interrupted and said, close what? Kishan agencies. It will not be closed till I go to Dehradun and decide on the spot whether to close it or to continue. But in the meantime, Baba dropped his body and I am still hanging on where I am. As is usual with Baba, daily prayers were being offered to God. Kekobad would read the prayer. Baba would stand with his hands folded. Mandali would stand behind him. One day it so happened in Dehradun, when Baba was here, that prayer was said, and I don't remember exactly what happened. I told Baba, I don't know whether there is any God or no God. People say there is a God, you say there is a God. I admit there is a God, but I am not interested in that God. All I know, the only God that I know is the one sitting in front of me, pointing to the Baba who was just sitting there. Baba smiled and said, that is true, but I want you to hold fast because I am very slippery. Love me and be happy and always think of me and keep me in your mind. That is the way to keep me. And that means you are with God, you are talking to God, you take me as God, I am God. As I have said, I was entrusted with the duty of writing diaries of Baba's meetings and programs. I was accordingly called to Meherabad in 1954, in the first week of September. First, there was a public darshan program held at Ahmednagar. Some foreigners came. They wanted to know what a public darshan is. So Baba asked them to come to Ahmednagar in the first week of September 54. They came. After that darshan program was over, it was on the 15th of September, as far as I remember. 2 or 3 days later, I was staying with Baba at that time at Mir Azad. 2 or 3 days later, Baba asked me to take down a dictation. Iraj started reading the board, Baba started giving the board, and I started taking down what Baba wanted to say. It was his final declaration dictated at that time. In that, Baba said at one stage that 3/4 of the humanity will be destroyed when I'll break this silence. The board was going on, Iraj was reading it, but I stopped taking down the dictation. Baba asked me why I was not writing. I said I couldn't understand what the word when means. It's so ambiguous. I would like to know whether the word will be destroyed before you break the silence or after it. Baba said, before I break the silence. I changed the word when into before, and Baba asked me to read out what I have written. I read 3/4 of the word will be destroyed before I break the silence. Baba said, why do you bind me? I said, who am I to bind God? You have said so, I have written. Baba said, all right, let it remain, but add, or immediately thereafter. So he changed the whole thing in a state of mess without giving out the exact time and date when the declaration will come into the effect. Anyhow, at that time, it also happened that Baba used the word new humanity, the pattern of humanity will be changed soon. I was wondering what that pattern of humanity getting under a change soon meant. I asked Baba what he meant by that. Baba said, look here, you use the record. When the record plays, you change the needles and the record works. But a stage is reached when the changing of record and of the needle would not help because the record is so deteriorated that it needs a change. So the humanity has reached to a stage when it needs to be changed. And what he meant by pattern of humanity was that several type of minds working, several types of understanding, several other types of things would happen, but he doesn't mean to say that the humanity, the system of body will be changed in any way. In between, he said, when after 700 years, the world will reach the zenith in the shape of happiness, pleasure, just as it has reached the zenith in the shape of sorrow and misery. And he added that he would come again to destroy that order. I was wondering what he was saying. I stopped writing. I put a question to him, Baba, in Gita, you have said that you come when people are in misery, in trouble, and just to relieve them of that misery you come. Now you are giving us a different story, whereby say that when the people are in the highest good mood, highest happiness, you come to destroy that order. That is a new thing which is opposite to what you have said as Krishna in Gita. Baba said, what I said there, I am saying even now. It is one and the same thing. What I mean to say is that I do not, that happiness and pleasure, pain and happiness, they are all illusion. Men who are crying with pain, they are in illusion. I come to take them out of the illusion. Men who are very happy, highly placed, they are in illusion. I come to destroy that order. I don't allow my Maya to be destroyed, but I make them to understand. So Baba said that retaining is Maya. He comes to give us knowledge that it is Maya, it is to be discarded. This is what is said in Krishna's time. This is what he is saying now, and this is what he will do in the future when he come here after 700 years. Later on, when that declaration was read in the meeting, a strange thing had happened. Baba made an addition that all the terms in that declaration, his breaking the silence, his glorification, his crucifixion, his drop, and the destruction of the 3/4 of the world will all happen within a period of 6 months. This created a stir, and everybody was astonished, was afraid, and the atmosphere which was so happily going on at that time suddenly changed to a glooming show. Meeting ended. Baba gave the instructions that all people should leave the place by midnight, and the foreigners should also leave Meherabad by midnight that day. People left. I was staying with Baba. I could not sleep the whole night. Next morning, when I was sitting along with the Mandali in Baba's presence, Baba put a question to me. Could you sleep last night? I said, no, Baba. Why not? I said, the addition which you made, that your dropping of the body within a period of 6 months was a tragedy, a tragic scene, a tragic thought, and a tragic action, and a tragic created a tragic atmosphere on my mind. So, under disturbed circumstances, I could not sleep. Baba said, don't pay attention to these things. Carry on. Do your duty cheerfully. I did. Later on, a meeting was held in April 55. When Baba called certain people and put a question and told them, was I a child to have said something on 30th September 54, later on changed it and gave it the shape of what you call clarification and decision, etc., etc. Why did I do that? Well, Baba said, there is a law of nature through which everything in the universe is controlled. So my declaration has also to pass through that law of nature. You will not be able to understand that law of nature because you are not so sufficiently heightened. I was one of the lovers who were called by Baba for that memorable meeting. In that continuing, Baba said, let us see what happened in the world when I said on 30th September 54 that the world will be destroyed within 6 months. You will see that China and Formosa question at once came into the picture, and the word destruction, which Baba said, slipped from his mouth, was on the mouth of everyone in the world. Everybody started saying, if not, the world will be destroyed, there will be hell of a destruction in case a war breaks out. Even Nehru had said that if not half the world will be destroyed, but I said 3/4 of the world will be destroyed, and 3/4 is inevitable and is meant for the destruction. Later on, Baba said, what happened thereafter when I changed the date of the declaration from the period of 6 months till the preordained time? That exigency disappeared. Now what would happen? Continuing, Baba said, there will be a gathering, meetings. There will be very many meetings, very many gatherings, but they all will be failure. Last of all, there will be a 5-power gathering, 5-power meeting. That too will be a failure. What would happen then? Baba said, the flare-up thereafter will be over very minor point, and the destruction would be very quick. This is what happened there. I was made to make known the facts of that meeting to all Baba lovers on my return to Dehradun, which I did. That will do.
Ready.
When Baba was staying here in 1953, we were having a world conference of religion at Rishikesh, which was sponsored by Swami Shivananda, who was one of the yogis living there. An idea struck in my mind that I should go to Rishikesh and distribute some literature concerning Baba, and I sought permission to that extent from Baba. Baba permitted me to go. I went there. I distributed the literature to the various people who were there. I could meet them. And an idea struck in my mind that I should have something presented to the chairman of the conference. Well, Swami Bharti, he was in the chair. He was not known to me. I could not enter the meeting because I was not a delegate. So I was feeling helpless when Baba's help came to my help. I found a volunteer who was employed in the office in which I was holding a gazetted post, and he wished me. When he did, I requested him to take that literature and give it to the Swami, who was the chairman of the meeting, Swami Bharti. I left thereafter. The next day, what happens? Baba asked me, I want a reliable man to proceed to Rishikesh with a message to the chairman of the conference and to Swami Shivananda. When Baba said so, I looked at his face and he asked me, what are you staring at me? What for? I said, you have asked me to find out a reliable man to go with a message. And I am thinking, could there be any man in the Mandali who is not reliable? Baba said, I want you to go. I said, then say so. Why you have said, Baba, that you want a reliable man? Everybody in the Mandali is reliable. I went, Baba dictated me a message. I went to the conference. I had my car. I took my car with me. And when we reached there, I found this Swami very busy. I need not tell you what happened between Swami and Baba previously because it's a long story and we are forbidden to mention his name, you see, and to tell that story to others. But the fact was he was very busy and he never wanted to meet me. Anyhow, he said, his men said that I can see him after an hour or so. In the meantime, I went to see the chairman of the conference. I found him very busy. People were around him. Somebody was presenting to me, Swamiji, take my address. Swamiji, give me your address. Swamiji, come to Delhi. Swamiji, come to Calcutta to my place, and like that. It was very hard and difficult for me to get an entrance and talk to him. But ultimately I said, excuse me, Swamiji, I have come with a message from Meher Baba. When he heard the name of Meher Baba, he said, where is Meher Baba? I said, he's in Dehradun. Oh, somebody brought the literature the day before. I was inquiring who brought it. Nobody could tell me. I said, I was the man who brought the literature. Now I have come with a message from Baba. He said, what is the message? I said, should I tell you in the presence of all what is the message? He dismissed the meeting. He told everybody to go away, and then he said, now, what is the message? Well, the message was, such meeting, it was, mind this, it was a meeting of World Conference of Religion. Baba said, Baba dictated that such meetings and gatherings and conferences murder spirituality. When I said so, the Swami started saying, yes, that is true, that is true. He started jumping like that. Yes, that is true, that is true. And he started giving me the story, how other delegates were talking about their religion. I told him, Swamiji, I am not interested with that. I have come with a message. And he said, he wants to go to meet Baba. Have you got arrangement to take him? I said, yes, I have got the car. You can go. In the meantime, what had happened? Baba had given me instruction not to bring any man to him. I disobeyed him in that way. Later on, it's a long story, I had to apologize to him for that. I may tell you if the time permits. Anyhow, what happened? Then I went to see Swami Shivananda. The message for him was that I am happy that the work has been done to your satisfaction. I gave him the message. Baba said, if he wanted to know what was my opinion, then tell him the other message which he had dictated for Swami Bharti, who was the chairman. But he never asked for it. Swami Shivananda never put that question, what Baba thinks. He was happy when he heard that Baba says, I am happy that the work has been done to your satisfaction. What happens then? We were very nicely fed there. He gave us dry fruit and tea and all that. We were very happy, you see, enjoyed that treat at that time when I said him so. Later on, the Swami came with me. There was a puncture on the car, and the wheel was punctured on the road. And what I did, I left the car just to give a message to Baba on the telephone that we were not able to reach in time, we'll be coming a bit late. I went into a unit which was on the route, and there I was taken as an intruder. They asked me, they hauled me before the CO, who asked me to show the identity card, which I had unfortunately left at my place. He abused me. He said, look here, what a silly idea. You are an officer and you don't know the utility, existence and necessity of a identity card. Why did you leave it? Anyhow, he permitted me to speak to Baba's Mandali on the telephone. But in the meantime, what happened? What happened? That Stepney was changed, and the man left the place, you see, thinking that he'll find me on the route. What? Now I then had to walk. Then because the car had left, I had to walk. And on the way, I requested a friend and had his car and went there and came here where Baba was staying. What? I was hauled before Baba. I was charged. Why did I bring that man to him when he had given previous instructions that no man should be brought to him? I told him, Baba, I am very sorry. I thought that you had made me a tool to bring that man here. And anyhow, he said, look here, see that he leaves the place by 3 o'clock. He reached there at 12, and he was to leave there. He was to stay here for 3 days. Against that, Baba said he should leave at 3. I went to him. I told him, Baba wants you to leave today. He said, all right, I'll leave at 3. But I might tell you, Baba was consistently inconsistent in my eyes. He would say something, he would change it. He would never stick to what he says, you see, because God is not bound. He has every right to say anything lies. So I always took Baba inconsistently consistent. I thought he might change the time. I arranged with the Swami that he should leave the place at 2:30. Immediately a message comes at 2:30 that he should leave before that. Well, it was arranged. I told Swami, well, look here, have you seen Dehradun? No. Now let us see Dehradun. And it was so arranged that he should leave at 2:15. I put the luggage in the car, and I was just going to enter when the man came. Oh, is he gone or still here? I said, he's just going. When I was going to step in, Baba sent a message that I should not go with him. Now, I was put in a very anomalous position. I was just going to enter. Then I started telling the driver, you see, to show him all those places and take him there. He said, then, are you not going? I said, no, I've got some urgent work to do in the office. I went to the office, did some urgent work, and when I came, I narrated this story to Baba. He charged me for why I told him a lie, that I had an urgent work to do. I said, Baba, I had just done urgent work. I have been in the office, so that duty has been done. Baba smiled, and he says, you are very clever. You have saved yourself, you see, by this excuse. All right, I excuse you. One of the Mandali fellows, you see, always does a night duty on Baba. Once what happened, that we were having a program, Baba's Darshan program at Navsari, Gujarat. Darshan program ended very late, and Baba gave the instructions that 2 of the Mandali should be on night duty that day. I was one of those two selected for the job. I could not properly understand Baba's gestures, but still I accepted that duty for the very reason that I would get time to write the day's diary of the program. Soon after the duty started, Baba clapped his hands. I was very quick to be there. He just tapped his wrist, which was a sort of sign to indicate to know the time. Then, after tapping the wrist, he touched his ears or did some other gestures. I thought that he was just asking me the time. I said, Baba, it's 11 o'clock. Again he was saying like this, Baba, it's 11 o'clock. He was saying, no, I want to know what is this. I could not follow. I at once ran and asked Pendu, Baba wants you, come on. Pendu came and Baba asked him, what a duffer you have put in here on duty today. I want to know that some sound was going on. And Baba was just beckoning to know what is that sound which is going on at this time. I want to know this thing and he is telling me the time, you see. All right. So, he went away. I still remained on duty. 5 minutes thereafter, again Baba clapped his hand. I ran there and Baba wanted to say something, ask something. I could not follow it. And still I was telling Baba, it's 11:30. He said, what are you? He was just worried, you see. He said, go and call Pendu, you see. I called Pendu again. Pendu, Baba wants you. And then Baba asked him some question and told him to remove this duffer immediately from the job. He's not fit for that. So, honorably, I had to vacate that job, you see, and get asleep for the night, though I carried on with that work for some times. Sometimes it's very difficult for a new fellow who has not been on that night duty to understand Baba's gestures. So I had to bear the music on that day. Jai Baba, everybody, I'm going.